As launch season continues to pick up pace, bikes hitting showrooms are cropping up everywhere. Here's our rundown of the 10 new bikes we can't wait to ride in 2020. In 10th is the Harley-Davidson Livewire. The iconic American mark shocked the motorcycle industry with the launch of the Livewire. Not only is it their first all-electric motorcycle, but it's also one of the first mass-produced electric bikes to go on sale. The Livewire is getting ready to silently wing its way to our shores, where particular interest will be paid to its range, its fast charging abilities, and of course, how quickly that linear torque accelerates from a standstill. Is this the future of motorcycling? And can it reverse Harley-Davidson's flagging fortunes in the sales charts? Next up is the Triumph Daytona Moto 2 765. It's a bit of a long shot this one, but it is still a bike that either you or I could go out and buy in 2020. The reboot of the iconic Daytona with the Moto 2 spec 765cc engine was the big news earlier this summer. The news that Triumph was not planning on making a full-scale general release version for the masses, just the carbon-clad Moto 2 Special, was a big disappointment to fans. There was a lot of chat on social media about the lack of a production version, and if any manufacturer listens to the public, it's Triumph. Who knows, there might be another winter unveiling to come. In 8th is the MV Agusta Brutale 1000 Serie Oro. For a company that specialises in scalpel-sharp machines with jewel-like engines and lithe handling, the Brutale 1000 Serie Oro is something of a departure from the Varese-based factory. Based around the idea of the Brutale 800, the 1000 Serie Oro borrows knowledge gained from the World Superbike Championship, pours it into the 4-cylinder unit out of the F4 Superbike, and creates the most powerful naked ever from MV Agusta. Another bike we can't wait to ride is the Moto Guzzi V7 3 Racer. When working on a platform like the V7, any new bikes are going to be cases of evolution over revolution. With that in mind, a new bike has to play to the strengths of the machine. A thing that Moto Guzzi has got spot on with their 2020 Racer. Yes, the forks are conventional items and there is a single disc up front, but don't overlook this sweet looking model. The weight is all held low, the riding position should be spot on, and it looks just so right. If you want to feel what riding a pure motorcycle feels like, book yourself a test ride on one of these. Next up, the 2020 Africa Twin. With a new aggressive look, sleeker bodywork and less weight than the old bike, the 2020 Africa Twin range is bridging the gap between midweight adventure bikes and the heavyweight bruisers. Updates for next year include touchscreen TFT dash, multiple riding modes, electronic suspension for some models, and of course, the DCT option for those with a phobia of the clutch lever. Having been in production for 12 years and with 90,000 bikes sold worldwide, the Triumph Street Triple is one of the biggest bikes in the Triumph lineup. To help keep the bike in mind for buyers in 2020, the bike's had an aesthetic and mechanical makeover. With some Moto 2 know-how introduced to the 765cc power plant, the new machine makes more peak power, peak torque, and more mid-range than the old model. If a sub 1000cc naked is on your wish list for 2020, this really is one of only a couple of bikes you can choose from. 4th place goes to the return of the Triumph Rocket 3. It's been a long time coming for the gigantic triple from Triumph. Killed off by Euro regulations a few years back, the bike left a massive hole in the Triumph lineup, literally. Thankfully, Triumph have listened to their customers and their heart in recreating the 3-cylinder beast. The press launch for this bike is in early November. We'll be in attendance to bring you all the news and of course a full video review. We can't wait. The new aerodynamic fairing of the R1 and the R1M may seem subtle, but the changes cement the bike as one of the best suited machines for track day addicts, and we can't wait to give it a try. It'd be easy to see the new bike as a simple act of Euro regulation avoidance, and that may be true to some respects, but the difference between the old and the new bikes do warrant some attention. The 2020 R1M also means the gap between the two models have never been bigger. Coming in at number 2 is the Ducati Street Fighter V4. the long-awaited naked version of the universally acclaimed Panigale V4 superbike. After numerous spy shots, teasers and prototypes, the Street Fighter V4 has finally broken cover and we're in awe at its beauty. A stripped back yet intricately detailed work of art on two wheels. With 208 brake horsepower at 12,750 RPM, the Street Fighter V4 is destined to be as eye-wateringly fast as it will be a sweet motorcycle to ride. We're counting down the days. The Kawasaki H2 is one of our favourite bikes, but the Kawasaki ZH2 Hyper Naked with its supercharger kicking out 197 horsepower and wildly ostentatious styling makes this one motorbike we just cannot wait to throw our leg over. We're promised a blistering performance, loads of tech and behaviour that draws on all that experience from Kawasaki's multiple title-winning World Superbike effort, all at a better value price tag than the Ducati Street Fighter V4 it's going up against. You can be sure we will be at the front of the queue to ride this when it hits the streets in 2020.